A Singaporean mother, according to the state, is someone who is economically productive, can have as many children as she can afford to, and conforms to the heterosexual nuclear family unit. Prominent female politicians like Tin Pei Ling and Halimah Yacob fit into this mold. They are motherly, modest, and mild. But it hasn't always been like this. In the 1970s, the government's Stop at 2 campaign aimed at reducing birth rates, even going so far as to plant this message in festival processions. Women with a third child were subjected to additional tax fees and disincentives in the school registration system. The messages espoused by the campaign were supported by the rapid economic development in the 1970s, which saw more women joining the workforce and building careers. For these women, having multiple children was just not practical. The Stop at 2 campaign was so successful that Singapore's birth rate fell from 3.07 in 1970 to 1.43 by 1986, which is way below the replacement rate of 2.1 children per woman. The following year, the state's stance towards motherhood reversed, with the have 3 or more children if you can afford it. However, values from the Stop at 2 campaign still lingered. The trauma had been imprinted into the psyche of Singaporean women. We interviewed Dr. Suryani Suratman to find out how Singaporean women are processing this trauma from past national campaigns.
Motherhood in Singapore, I think, has a few components to it. Mm-hmm. One is to be professionally successful.
Okay.
Yeah, that's one. And then not only that, to have children who are also successful.
Okay.
Have to balance. I mean, they've always had to balance,
always,
right?
Yeah.
Work and family.
Yeah.
It's 2017 now, and we wanted to ask how social media is changing what it's like to be a mother in Singapore, considering that the nation has the second highest social media penetration rate on the planet, with 59% of Singaporeans being deeply engrossed in social media, more than double the global average. We looked on Instagram, an image-sharing platform that has been frequently utilized by today's mothers to present themselves. The hashtag SGMummy garnered over 65,000 posts from Singaporean mothers sharing their excitement and joy of being a mother. Among the people who used the hashtag, many are Instamums. A blending of the words Instagram and mother, Instamums are prominent social media figures with a large following. Instamom is definitely a new media trend, especially in Southeast Asia. Audiences are attracted to their lifestyle, images of a perfect family, and of course, pictures of their cute children. Some Instamoms in Singapore include Noor Fasari, who has over 172,000 followers, Nira Natikan, who has nearly 50,000 followers, and Amber Yang, whose 2 accounts totals almost 350,000 followers. Amber Yang also won the Top Parenting Influencer Award in 2017. Observations of the pictures shared by Instamoms formed our initial thesis. We thought that Singaporean mothers who followed Instamoms were empowered by these images of hardworking, fit, fashionable, entrepreneurial women. This multifaceted identity deviates from the dominant state discourse that has long defined a Singaporean woman relative to her family and her community. Instamoms seem to suggest that modern Singaporean women have more agency in expressing their individuality. In our email interview with Nira Natikan, she says, "I always spend at least 1 to 2 days a week on quality time with my daughter, no matter how busy I am, as well as valuable time for myself." Instamoms are valuing self-care. Many have their own business ventures that allow them to have flexible schedules to raise their kids, while simultaneously allowing them to be financially providing and pursue their interests at the same time. For example, Noor Fasari has her own online women's and kids' shoe store called 2Meet. This allows her to express her creativity, which was recognized by professionals in the industry, providing her an opportunity to showcase her designs at the 2017 Singapore Fashion Week. These are our extrapolations from observing the Instamoms. However, under the supposed empowerment, we uncovered a dark side to the Instamom phenomena. One of the biggest dangers of social media is comparison. According to counselor Sylvia Weatherall, mothers are comparing themselves at their worst to a filtered snapshot of a person at their best. A 30-year-old civil servant who had recently given birth for the first time told Channel News Asia in an interview that she felt like a blob of fat after viewing photos of attractive mothers on Instagram. Also through our interview with Jennifer Nagaoka, she said the idea of perfection is a major stress for moms today. There are so many options and opinions as to how to be a good mom. I think you can be bombarded with the message that you are not good enough. To take care of yourself, your children, your marriage, your relationships, all the things in life you are expected to manage. It is common to not take care of yourself as a new mom. Self-care is of the utmost importance, yet is often entirely ignored. The inability of new mothers to live up to the expectations set up through social media can lead to postnatal depression. In the most severe cases, this could lead to suicide, as in the case of 29-year-old Ko Swan Ping, who jumped to her death from the 12th story of her flat with her 2-month-old daughter in her arms. In order to further understand the impact of this Instamom phenomenon on Singaporean mothers, we went to the largest baby fair in Southeast Asia, selling all sorts of products targeted at parents, and mothers in particular.
The biggest baby fair in Southeast Asia to find out more about motherhood in Singapore by talking to some moms. Let's go!
We spoke to several people. Those who followed Instamums generally echoed the same sentiments about feeling pressured to look effortlessly glamorous. This woman felt sad about having stretch marks after her pregnancy when she sees other mums on social media being fit after giving birth. A woman working at a family photography studio said that Instagram shows the positive side of motherhood, but not the difficulties mothers face. Another lady who did not want to appear on video said that she felt pressured looking at images of the unattainable lifestyle. We had a challenging time finding mothers who actually followed Instamums. What we found was that most of the people who we spoke to preferred to connect with other mothers through Facebook groups. Facebook groups offer Singaporean mothers a sense of community and solidarity. This activity of sharing about parenting experiences in Facebook groups, or sometimes in blogs, has led to the emergence of a new term called sharenting. According to a lady we interviewed, many of these women share their struggles, give each other tips, and even meet up in real life and become friends. With motherhood already being a challenging task given the high cost of raising a child in Singapore, being able to experience this journey with other women is comforting. There are multiple Facebook groups for mothers expecting to give birth in the same month. We looked up how to join these Facebook groups. Most, if not all of them, have volunteer group administrators who serve as gatekeepers to protect these close-knit communities. This layer of self-regulated security is an essential component of building trustable and safe communities to be a source of support for Singaporean mothers. Facebook is bringing together tech-savvy mothers, creating new channels of support, which is essentially important for Singaporean mothers as they often face pressure not just from their family commitments, but also from work. On Facebook, the women have more control over connecting with people from similar backgrounds, whether that be a similar due date or similar socioeconomic background. What is most important for these moms is a connection to other women from a more relatable class. This idea is reinforced by our conversation with Dr. Suryani Suratman. The lifestyle portrayed by Instamoms is luxuriously glamorous and also incredibly unrealistic and unattainable for Singaporean mothers who do not have a lot of free time or disposable income. From the perspective of a young Singaporean, the extravagant lifestyle of an Instamom is undesired.
I were a mom, I wouldn't spend all my time documenting like the top floor of social media for the purpose of social media.
For Singaporean mothers struggling to raise a child, build a career, and take good care of their mental and physical well-being, Instamums do not empower or inspire them. Most women don't have personal fitness trainers to help them lose weight after giving birth, or a startup business that allows for a flexible schedule, or the time and money to eat and buy beautiful things. In Singapore, the ideal mother, according to the state, is expected to have a career of her own, as evidenced by the government's Back to Work program, which encourages mothers to reintegrate back into the workforce after giving birth. In contrast, in many other developing Southeast Asian countries, ideal mothers tend to be defined as housewives rather than working moms. Thus, they focus more time on raising their kids and handling domestic affairs. And of course, they'll have more time to manage their social media. Instead, these seemingly effortless images are an added pressure to be a perfect mother by creating desired illusions. Instamums represent a perpetuation of consumption into a domain as private as motherhood. Perhaps Singaporean women, or at least the ones we spoke to, just enjoyed having companions of similar social class to share the journey of motherhood with. After conducting our research, our final thesis is that Instagram portrays an unrealistic image of perfection of motherhood. Instamoms are not followed by typical Singaporean moms, as their curated images are not as relatable as not everyone can afford to chase that image of perfection. They prefer to be part of private, close-knit communities that are more relatable to the journey of motherhood. However, we must acknowledge the limitations of our research. We only spoke to a handful of women whose views may not be representative of all Singaporean women. Moreover, when we approached mothers who were shopping at the baby market, they generally did not want to be interviewed. We understand that they may be uncomfortable with sharing their private emotions and struggles with us, as we are students who they did not know at a busy shopping event. Those who responded to our inquiries were mostly business owners who had a booth at the baby market. Despite these limitations, by diving into this fascinating collision of the intimacy of motherhood with the mass consumption of social media, we gained a greater insight into the world of mothers in Singapore. Instamoms can provide a form of inspiration, or send mothers spiraling into a dark world of comparison. Whether an Instamom with thousands of followers living in the glitz and glamour of edited images, or a working mom seeking support from other mothers through Facebook groups, underneath it all is a common desire to navigate the daunting world of motherhood with a community of support.